2007, you cannot indicate that it was an accident. And what I want him to understand is that he was the one that made the choice to drive the way that he did. He was the one that made the choice to put the keys in the car, to take two separate cars. He was the one that made the choice to operate the vehicle the way he did, to put his foot on the gas pedal the way he did, to drink before he got in the car. It was his choice to drive the way he did down a road that he should be familiar with when it's wet and after having had some alcohol. So I want him to understand that this is his fault. This crash was his fault and only his fault. His father also gave an interview, and in the interview he indicated that it would be his worst nightmare to find out that his son had been racing. And I think if you look at all the facts, and if anyone read all the sworn statements, we would know that his father's nightmare came true. And unfortunately, John Graziano is now in that nightmare. And it's the defendant's fault, and I want him to understand he was the cause of that crash. Now, before I mentioned that family members wanted to make a statement, and they also had certain conditions that they would like to be added to the terms of probation. One of them would be, if he's placed on probation, up to the maximum of the 5 years probation and any incarceration, that there be no driving. Also, that there be 500 hours of community service. If he's placed on the 5 years of probation, that would be 100 hours of community service a year. They specifically do not want a buyout provision. They'd like him to perform all the hours of community service and not have the option of paying them off. An alcohol evaluation and any recommended treatment, because there is alcohol involved, and for the same reason, DUI school. Also, no alcohol during the term of his probation. And certainly, since he's underage, he shouldn't be drinking alcohol anyway, but this to continue after he's 21. Advanced defensive driving school as well, and I've informed counsel that the investigative cost from the Clearwater Police Department is $6,528.10. And of course, that would be requested as well. The father, Ed Graziano, would be the first family member that would like to make a statement to the court. And I can tell the court that I don't believe the full statements, if any statements, by the family were included in the PSI. So you'll be hearing them today, obviously, for the first time.
All right. Mr. Graziano? I think it's probably easiest to have him just come to the podium and... Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. It's going to be a little difficult for me to get through, but I'll try the best I can. I'm Ed Graziano, the father of John Graziano. And John, even though I have a 32-year-old son here, he is the child from my wife's first marriage. So John was my firstborn son. Of course, being my firstborn son, my first chance to carry on my family name. From the first moment I looked at him and held him in my arms on January 4th, 1985, I had high hopes and dreams for my son. I wanted him to be healthy, safe, and have the opportunities in life to be home and whatever his heart desired. To be the kind of man that others would look up to and be proud of. On August 25th, 2007, John was everything I hoped he had dreamed, everything I hoped and dreamed he could be. He was healthy, he was safe, and he was strong. He was a hero. He was a United States Marine, not only to me and his mother, but to our country. He was willing to put his life in harm's way to protect our country's freedom. My son received the National Defense Medal, the Global War on Terrorism Medal, the Global War on Extraditionary Medal, the Iraqi Campaign Medal, the Overseas Combat Medal. John also received Expert Rifleman and Pistolman medals. On August 25th, 2007, he had an incredible future, full of so many opportunities. However, on August 26, 2007, everything changed because of the senseless, reckless acts of Nick Bollea. What Al-Qaeda could not do to my son, Nick Bollea did in a matter of minutes. He destroyed my son's future. Not only did he destroy my son's life, he destroyed the lives of those who John loved. Me, his mother, his brothers, his sisters, his grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, Ashley, who was his fiancée, and her family, and I could go on, to second and third cousins who have sent cards and who have shown much concern for my son's welfare. My son John was always an overachiever. From a young boy, John was a great son and never gave his mother and I any problems. He never got involved with drinking, drugs, smoking, or hanging out with the wrong crowd. He had his head on straight and a strong ambition. He had a strong ambition for most sports activities, including fishing, jet skiing, skateboarding, surfing. He was an avid hockey player, on rollerblades and on ice. He was also about to, when we were living in New Jersey, join a travel team for hockey. These are things that I used to do with my son. These are just a few of the things that I will no longer be able to do with him or encourage him to do. John was a very caring person and wanted nothing more than to help people. His dreams consisted of getting married and building a family while becoming a firefighter, paramedic, or a policeman, so he could continue to do what he did best, serve our country and the public. My life now consists of 10 hours each day at a hospital watching my son suffer. He is being filled with all different kinds of medications to keep him alive, which is eating away at his mother and I like a cancer. Nick's life will go on. However, it is still unknown if my son will ever be able to come home, let alone survive. John will need around-the-clock nursing care for the rest of his life. He probably will be in a wheelchair forever, and it also is questionable if he will ever be able to communicate with his family or friends again.